Hello, welcome to Spy Money. It is Tuesday, October 18th. We're going to talk about funded accounts, how they can work for you or against you. So let's go into right here. Go to funded accounts. Now, I've always been a proponent of funded accounts, but only to make enough money to put money in your live account. That's always been my plan, and that's what I've told people, and I've never believed in funded accounts forever. But I've had a change of heart, and I've run the numbers, and the numbers actually work in favor of having a funded account, doing it this way. Now that we have our bots have, you know, multiple accounts, as you can see, I traded all my accounts here, and this is today trading four accounts. So I had a main account plus three. So this right here, and I'm just going to round numbers, say $900. So 9 times 4 is $3,600 that I made running two contracts. So here's the thing about funded accounts. Yes, they have rules. Yes, they want you to break those rules so they can charge you a reset. That's what they want to do. So what you have to do is be smarter than the average bear on it. So here's how you do it. You trade small, and when you trade small, you just go for daily, targets. If you're wanting to make $1,000 a day, don't try to make it on one account. Try to make it across several accounts, and that way you're trading one contract, and it's all small, and you can manage your loss and everything a lot easier. It's easier, to have a losing trade and then a winner. It's much easier than trying to, going in three contracts and losing all that money on three, and then you want to go six, and it's emotional roller coaster. It's the same, trading one contract on 20 accounts is the same as trading 20 on one account. I get that. But if you have one contract and you lose across 20 accounts, the money's the same, but the emotional roller coaster is not, because you're only down $150 is what you think if you're trading 3 points on ES. But so it's multiplied, but it's emotional, and our biggest problem trading is emotion. That's the number one thing. So between these three, Apex, you can trade up to 20 accounts. This one, I think it's one evaluation, and I think once you do that and get it funded, I think you can do another eval, and then you can have, I think, a total of two, which don't help you in this, what we're trying to do. Earn to trade is the same as you profit. Now, the problem with earn to trade is it's $105 per exchange. So let's just say they did have 10, it would cost you 105 times 10, which is going to be $1,050. So you profit doesn't charge anything. But the problem with you profit is you have to make $5,000 on an account before you can trade all 12 contracts. So to go in, if you're trading, like say you can trade three contracts up to 5,000 easy. So if you're just trading three contracts, you're fine. But if you want to trade the full amount, you can't. So let's say that between these three, there's some major differences, but the big difference is when you get a funded account with all three. Let's just say they're all three funded. You went through the evaluation and passed. You go through all three of them. You no longer have a trailing drawdown on Apex once you hit your initial funded amount. So let's say you had a $50,000 account in each one of these. You would have to have $53,000, and then your trailing drawdown goes away. Then it stops at 50,100. So if you made $10,000 that day, and then you open up the next day, you have $60,000 in here. Well, you could trade that full $10,000 amount and lose $9,900 before you blow your account. So that's good with this. So if you're wanting to, say you're got your account built up and you're wanting to trade all 10 contracts, which is what the 50,000 will do. If you want to trade all 10 contracts, you can. You cannot here. you can only trade 3 contracts up to 50. So they limit what you can make. So if you're a really good trader and you're doing really well, Apex is going to allow you to trade it. And they're going to say, hey, you're an adult. It's your money. You trade it how you want. Profit wants to hold your hand. And they want to keep you back in grade school and not let you trade until you get over $5,000 profit. Well, to trade those contracts to get up to 5,000 holds you back some. Now, for the most people, if you're just going to trade an account to make the money to fund your account, this is the best one. You can go in here, you can make your money and be fine. Earn to trade. Earn to trade works like Apex once you get funded. Once you get over your threshold, then it's open book. You can trade all the contracts you want. Um, I think you can, because I know that no, actually they have a scaling. No, the scaling's on an eval only. But once you get your funded account, that goes away and you can trade how you want. I think. I might be wrong on that, but I think it's what it is. So I think Earn to Trade and Apex work the same on funded accounts. But the problem is you can only have one account. One account here, up to 2 accounts here after you pass an evaluation, then another evaluation. I think it's 2, maybe 3. So it will not help you in the manner that I'm going to tell you. Apex, you can have 20 accounts. Now, no fee monthly here, but you only get 80% of your money. This one's $105 a month, and you only get 80% of your money. This one is $85 a month per account, but you get 90% of your money. So if you're making, let's just say you only made $500 a day, that's $10,000 a month. Well, 10,000, 10% is only going to be $1,000. Well, if on these two over here, that's $2,000. So charging $85 is much cheaper than getting a free one and then taking less money. So between these three, depending on your goal, Apex is probably the best one to do. You profit if you're just looking to make money to fund your account and be live, and that's it. This is the one you want. Now you get the first $10,000 free that you make with Apex, no percentage on that, and it's $8,000 on this one, and this one doesn't have that at all. They just charge you 80% of everything you make. So between these three, there's advantages and disadvantages, and it depends on your goal. My personal goal is to do the Apex and to go longevity. Now, there's the tax difference between them. You're getting all the money you make on this is ordinary income. There is no deductions like you get with the futures. So this is just like getting a paycheck from an employer is what you're going to get, and you pay tax on it. So if you are getting taxed on, say, 40% profit, then this one right here, if you made $100,000, you pay $40,000 in taxes. On a live account, it's going to be different. So a live account, let's say you're on a 40% tax bracket, the first 60, if you're making $100,000, the first $60,000, you're going to be taxed at 15%. So it's going to save you 25% tax. So the 25% of the $60,000 is going to be what is that? My mind's not even thinking here. So if we've got 60,000 times 15% is that's going to be $9,000. So I don't know how I did that. So I hit 6,000 times 0.15 is $9,000. So there's $9,000 more that you would pay in tax. Actually, that's not even right. You would pay $9,000 in tax, and then the last 40,000 times 40%, because that's what we're using for a tax bracket. So you would actually pay out $25,000. Okay, so you'd have $25,000 in commission or tax paying out the regular way. Now, if you're going to do this one, you're going to do 100, and there's 40,000. So you're $15,000 more. So you're thinking, why would I want to do that if I'm going to pay more in tax? Well, let's look at it this way. If you are going to do one account, it don't make sense to do one account and keep using theirs and do it. It doesn't make sense at all. But let's say you did all 20 accounts. If you did 20 accounts or even did 10, let's just say 10. If you did 10 $50,000 accounts, they let you trade 10 contracts per account. So that's 100 contracts. So if you did a live account, you could do 100 contracts as well, up to 100. You can't do any more. But let's just say that you're a super trader and you wanted to go ahead and do maybe the $300,000 accounts, and you can trade 35 per account. So it doesn't matter which account you have, they're all $85 a month. So if you have, let's say you did the super trader and you're $300,000 account and you had 10 of those, that's 35 accounts per account. So that's 350 contracts that you could trade every single time. And I'm not saying that's what you should do. It depends on how good of a trader you are and this and that, because that's a big drawdown too if you lose. So let's just say you had 350 accounts or contracts. So if you're trading 350, you can't trade that on a live account. So if you were able to get your live accounts to do that, more than likely you're only going to have, the Ninja Trader may let you have 2 accounts. They won't let you have more accounts than that typically. So the most you could trade is 200 contracts. So if you're doing 200 times 50, that's $50 a point. And then let's just say that you're going for, like the Rinko bot that we go for 3 points. So there's times 3. So there is $30,000 per trade that you could potentially have. So, but you could also lose $30,000. But think of it this way: if you have $30,000, and then let's say you only have one account, then you're going to be looking at, shoot, did that wrong. If you had a $100,000 account, I'm sorry, it's 100 contracts times 50 times 3 is 15,000. So the most you can make is $15,000 on your live account, but you can make 30,000 because you have multiple trading accounts. So it actually helps you. So you're making an extra $15,000 doing nothing more than what you're already doing. So let's just say you did that $15,000 at 15. Let's see if we do it this way. If you do $15,000 times, actually, 15 times 0.6 is going to be 9,000 times 0.15 is going to be $1,350. So you're going to pay $1,350 tax on that. And then if you take the 15,000 there's 2,400, so you've got $3,750 in taxes on that trade. Okay, $3,750. So if you made $30,000 times 0.9, because you got to pay them, and then times 0.40, because that's what we're using as a tax bracket, you're 10,800. So you're $10,800 in taxes on that. Or no, that's not right. Yeah, it's 10,800 in taxes, where we had what 3,700 or so before, but we made more money. So we're even paying more taxes. We're still making more money. And now here's the other thing: if you have deductions and stuff, you can factor all that in and get away, with some of this right here. But if you just look at those accounts, even paying the higher tax bracket and paying the 10% to them, you're going to make more money. Does that make sense? So let's say it this way. Instead of doing 10, let's say you did 20 accounts. And this is where the math really comes in. So if you have 20 accounts, there's no way in the world that you could trade that many contracts on a live account. So when you get over 10, it the value of having these accounts, it makes it even worthwhile. So if you had 10 times or 20 times 35 is 700 contracts, then times 50, and then times 3, and we're just looking at one trade. That's 105,000, and so we're going to get half of that money back, right? Because we're going to pay 10% to them and 40% to the IRS. So we've got, and this is just rough numbers, but this is going to be 50%. So divided by 2, that's going to let you make 52.5 per trade. Where before you were only making 15,000 a trade. Now this is after you paid your taxes, and based on a 40%. This is after you paid your taxes. You paid Apex's 10%. This is real money to you, and you did nothing more than what you were doing before. Now you can put this on a smaller scale. You can just do like one contract or whatever. But if you did one contract, you don't need these accounts. One contract, you're better off just have a live account and trade it that way. But if you go ahead and start going to higher volume contracts, you're better off to do it this way. Now let's think about this way. According to my representative at Earn to Trade, he told me that all of these are sim accounts. None of them are actually live trading accounts like what we have. If you open up a brokerage account with NinjaTrader, it's a live account. The market makers see what you're doing. They see all the trades, all that. But with these, they don't see it. So if you went in 700 contracts on Apex, the market makers don't even know you're there. So what he told me makes a lot of sense. It's like an insurance company, and they pay this company, and they split the money with them on the money that they collect on what they charge us. And they split that, and then they play it on like an insurance. And they know that statistically, 95% of the traders lose money. And they lose that money, all their money, within the first 90 days of trading. That's statistics. So it's like an insurance on a car. They will go ahead and insure your car for $30,000 if that's what it costs. And when they insure it for $30,000, they're kind of risking to do that, but they look at your driving record to see how good a driver you are, to know what your rate is. And then they look at it as like, we're going to have 1,000,000 drivers, and we think that probably 20% of those are going to wreck. So if 20% of them wreck, well, let's just say it on these numbers. So they're going to say 5% of these people are probably going to wreck, and we're going to collect on 95% of the insurers. Well, the way the funded looks at it is they think that 5% of all the traders that buy their program are going to make money. And they've got 95% of the people aren't going to make money. So if they can, they're wagering out that, let's say they have $1,000,000 coming in every month, and 5% of those people are making, say, $200,000 a year, or even 100. Well, it'd be less than that. If they got a million coming in, they're going to be paying out probably 5% of that. So they're going to be making roughly $950,000. That's what they're risking. So this $950, they will pay out these companies here, like Apex. They are tied in with this company, and that company is, let's say they have $1,000,000 left over at the end of the year after they paid out all the good traders, but they collected on all the bad traders, and they got $1,000,000, so they split that with Apex. And that's how Apex gets paid, and you profit and become the earn to trade. So that's how it works. The part with us is we have to have a lot of contracts to make it worthwhile. If you're only going to trade say 50 or less contracts and that's it, you're better off to have a live account due to taxes and the percent split. But if you're going to go in, say you do 20 contracts or even 10, or not contracts, but accounts. If you did 10 accounts, and you're going to do better. The big advantage is over the market makers. They don't even know you're in the trade. So the way this works is they give you data, and you come over here and you look at this right here. So all of this right here, the market makers don't even know what we're doing. Like these trade, in your evaluation, which this is an evaluation right here. All 4 of these are eval counts. So it's like running a sim account. And once you prove that you can pass that evaluation, they give you a live sim account. So once you get that live sim account, then it goes right back into the same thing. And these contracts are not being traded here on the market. So they don't even know you're there. So let's say you go in a live account and you went in 100 contracts right here. Well, the market makers would know that you just put in 100 contracts there, and they're wanting to gobble up what you've got here. So if they do that, if you go in 100 contracts, it's more risky than if you go in 100 contracts on Apex. So, and if you notice, like on Apex, when you pass the valuation account, there's really no paperwork, so to speak. I mean, there's like a couple little things. You sign it and you send it in, and usually within 30 minutes or an hour, you've got a live account trading. It's called a PA account. So once you have that account, you start trading, but the 95% of the people are going to blow that account. So then they have to go back and do a reset on the eval account, and that's where they make their money. So what we got to do is we have to be in the 5% club. And if we're in the 5% club, we are costing them money. But it's all okay to them because they know that they may have to pay out money, but they've got a lot more money coming in off of people buying new evals and resets. Majority of people reset. Not very many people actually pass an account and keep it. Most of them end up going ahead and blowing their accounts. And that's how they make their money. So they're counting on that. And you may go ahead and blow your account 10 times before you can get a live account. And if you do, you've got your initial investment of buying the account, plus you're going to have $85 for each one, so there's $850 that they're making before you even get a live account that you'll probably end up blowing. So using our strategies, having the bots that we use and having the indicators and so forth in the training, we teach you how to be in that 5% club. And that's what you want to be, is in the 5% club. So how do you do this? You pick the one you want. Me personally, it takes a long time to get paid. You're looking at probably 3 months before you'll get your first check of $2,000 per account. So if you have 20 accounts, then you can have $40,000 a month coming in, and which is a lot of money. Even if you can get 5 accounts, that's $10,000 a month. I mean, I don't know too many people that can't live off $10,000 a month. But when you click on this link up here, this is going to open up to here. You can see here the total withdrawals is in 2022 so far is $3.5 million. That is a small amount of money compared to how many people are doing their evals. I mean, if you think about this, if they paid out $3.5 million, yes, that's a lot of money, but they're raking in a lot more than that a month. Average monthly withdrawals since January, $394,000 in withdrawals. So they're paying out $400,000 a month to people that are actually making money. Now they're keeping 10% of that. So there's $40,000 that they're rolling right back into their program. And said here, they've got 5,700 people that have passed and got their PAs funded last month. But how many people are paying to be there? If you look in all these groups and everything, I mean, it's just like astounding how many people are doing this. I mean, every single group you go in or Discord or whatever, people are buying these up. So it's hard to tell how many customers they have, and then out of those customers, how many evals that they're blowing. and then they have to reset $85 a pop. So if they've got 20 accounts and they blow it, then they've got roughly $2,000 that they're getting right there. That's how they make money, and that's how they can afford to pay out the $3.5 million. So $3.5 million to us sounds like a lot of money, but that is a drop in the bucket for how much they're raking in. That's how they work. So you can scroll down to the bottom. Which one would I do? The 4 I've got now are $50,000 accounts. And I thought about going ahead and doing the 300 accounts. That way I could trade more than 10 contracts. The problem is you got to make $20,000, which is not too hard. I mean, if we were trading 4 contracts today, then that one account would be up $1,800 as far as where we are in trading today. So it's really not that hard to make the $20,000 over 10 days. The only thing you do is on our bots, there is a way that you can change the contract. So like if I wanted to, I can trade 2 contracts here, 3 on this one, 4 here, and 6 here if I want. I can trade up to whatever that value will allow me to trade. So for trading it, it's really not a big deal. You could have different accounts through this your bot running, and with that, you can pick how many contracts you want to run on each one. Maybe you want to have, maybe you don't need 20, $300,000 accounts. Maybe you just would like to have some smaller ones that you can trade up to 10. This one you can trade 4. I think this one is just a waste to even get. This one is, I think, a fair one. You only have to make 3,000, which, as you can see, this is today $900, so $3,000 is nothing to make. And we're not even possibly done for today. I may go ahead and turn the bot on and run it some more. So to make this money is not a big deal. Now to go from here to here, I don't think it's worth it for 2 contracts. I think it, in my opinion, I've always been a proponent of the $100,000 account. And the $100,000 account is pretty good, but then I started evaluating. It's only 4 contracts difference between here and there. 4 is not enough for me. I think really you either do the 50,000 or you do the 300. I think those are the 2 that I would do. So it depends on how much money you want to put out. And here's another way to look at it. Do the 50s right now. Get those passed, get those funded, making your money. And then say when you get your first check in 3 months, you go ahead and take part of that money and buy you some 300s. And then you can go ahead and trade your 50s and 300s at the same time. So maybe you do, to get you started, you do 5 of these and get started. And then once you make your money, either buy 5 more of them or 5 of these. And then once you get your money and you got more money coming in, buy 5 more. Eventually get to 20. You don't have to buy 20 at one time. Just go ahead and get you some to get started. I would recommend doing the 50,000. If you do this one right here, that would help you out. Now, how do we want to do this? Well, if you just scroll down to the bottom, I've got a 50% coupon code here. So when you're buying it, you just highlight that, right click it, copy it, come back up here, and let's say you buy this one here. I think my account will come up, so I don't want to click on that. But if you clicked on this right here, and there's a place center, you put coupon code in. And you put that coupon code in, just right click and paste it. And that will knock this from 167 down to 83.50. So 83.50 is not that much money. So if you do that, that's going to help you out. And let's just say you only did 5 accounts right now. You don't have to do all of them at once. Do 5, get those passed, get into the valuation, and then once you get into the valuation, maybe you throw another 5 on, and then you go through that program again. Or maybe you just want to do all 20 at the same time. If you're trading good and you're consistently making money daily, do 20. If you've got the money to buy 20, that's 16, 17, about $1,800 or so with the tax. So you spend $1,800, you get all these accounts, you trade them all at the same time. Only thing you have to do is make $300 a day, which is not hard. One trade, really, if you do 2 contracts, one trade will get you the $300. And then over the course of 10 days, you have your $3,000. Or you can do what I did. I did 2 contracts. I made 900 today. And so far, I may go ahead and just finish these out today and make the full 3,000 today. The way it's moving right now, could we have done that? So let's look. So I normally don't trade the 830, and I usually stay out of the open. That's just me. But if you never, here's I'm just going to count +1, -1. That here's 1 back to 0, -1 back to 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. These wouldn't have traded 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. So you'd be up 5 more trades. So that's $750 more right there if you just turn the bot on and let it run. So there's $750 that you could have made in here just letting the bot run. 750 plus the 900, and that is letting it run through the open even. Now I like to wait until after the initial balance is over and turn it back on. So right here would have been my first trade, and it was a winner. And more than likely, this will probably hit right here, and then it will come back down and back to the balance and be another winner. So there's 2 trades, well, 1 for sure, that I would have made, and that would have put me $300 more. So that would have been what, $1,200 I'd have up here instead. So that's how you do it. All of our bots will trade multiple accounts now. And we've got a trade copier that'll be out today or tomorrow. You guys have any questions? This is live in our Discord. We're training people in our Discord how to do it. And also we'll post this on the YouTube. You guys have any questions?
Pretty good.
Does that make sense about the tax structure?
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm none of that. But that's how I see it working.
It'll take some studying and watching it or looking at it, draw it out on paper and stuff. But yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not going to draw it out on paper, but just because I don't want the liability behind it. But
Right. Yeah.
and the only way it works is when you have multiple accounts. And honestly, who's going to have to trade 10 contracts on NQ? It takes $50,000. That's what it takes. So if you have, let's say you want to trade 100 contracts on NQ, that's 100 grand. If you want to trade 10 contracts on ES, that's going to be $5,000. Okay, I'm sorry, not 50,000. That's 1,000 times 10. Yeah, it's 10. Yeah, it's $10,000, not 50,000. So it would be $10,000 to trade 10 NQ contracts. Well, you could do that on here for $85 a month using their money. And most people don't have an extra $10,000 to stick in an account. And let's just say you did. Let's say you wanted to trade 100 contracts. Well, it would take $100,000 of your buying power to put in an account to trade it. Where if you have this one, you could have 10 of these for $850 a month, and you could trade that and never use your money. You pay a little more in taxes, but you have to weigh out what's best for you. I think that using the 50,000 account and doing 20 of them is going to get you 200 contracts. Is pretty good. 200 contracts is going to cost you. You're actually it's really going to make it when you have the 300. When you have the 300, you got 35 contracts. That's 700 contracts that you could trade with 20 accounts, and to be like a ninja trading because they're not going to see you. So you can be trading 700 contracts for $1,800 a month, and you never have any of your money out. So you've got to pay the piper for usage of someone's money, and that's what you're doing.
It's an efficiency thing.
Yes. You're better off to take, if you got $300,000 account, well, 35 would be, the most would be 35,000. So let's use real numbers. So they give you a $300,000 account, but it's not 300. So $35,000 times 20 is $700,000 is what it would cost you to be able to trade that many contracts. Yeah, to trade 700 contracts. So you're looking at $700,000. Well, why not take that $700,000 and just go ahead and invest it into real estate or whatever you want to do, and let it make some more money, and then just pay a little more money. It's kind of like a bank loan, if you think of it that way. If you're getting a loan on a piece of real estate and you're paying your closing fees and all that, this right here is your interest payments. Is basically what it is. And that way, like whenever you buy real estate, I personally pay cash for real estate. I don't get loans. But if I got a loan on one, that interest that I'm paying out, is nothing compared to how much money that I put out to hold that property. So if I put out $100,000 to buy a piece of property, then, and let's just say that's all I had was $100,000, then I can't buy anything else until I make another $100,000 to buy another piece of property. So on the $100,000, if I get a loan, then I'm going to be able to keep $80,000 and put $20,000 down. Now I can buy 4 more properties. So I'll have 5 properties that are paying me, say, $1,000 a month. I'm just making a number. So if they're paying me $1,000 a month, then that is $5,000 a month compared to $1,000 a month, and my payments are probably going to be, I don't know, maybe $600 a month or so. So 6 and 5 is 3,000, so I'm $2,000 ahead of the game. So this is kind of the same thing. You've got to pay a little bit of interest, call it, in order to use that money to make more money. And then when you make that money and pull it out, you can take that and buy more property. So that's my idea behind it. Plus, the risk is a little bit less. Now, once you get these accounts done and evaluated, and they're paid accounts, when you lose money in those paid accounts, you're losing your money. So you're losing their money, you're losing your money. And that's what they want to tell you. Now, if you don't have the Ninja Trader license, there's $1,100 you didn't have to spend. You get it free. And then you don't have to pay the $12 data fee on the CQG, which is, nothing. But, if you're making that kind of money, $1,100 for a license is not a big deal. But that's my take on funded accounts. It's not for everybody. If you're going to trade a lot of different accounts, it can be worth it. The biggest disadvantage to Apex is it takes 3 months to get your first check, and then you're going to have small checks on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th month, and then the 6th month is when you can really start taking out the money. But let's just say you had 10 accounts. You can pull out $2,000 a month. So that's $20,000 a month that you can be pulling out, which is not chicken feed. So if you're pulling out 20 grand a month, and then, and all the time, you're still making a lot of money in there. I mean, you might be making $100,000 a month. And if you're making $100,000 a month on those accounts, on the 6th month, you can pull that money out. So you're getting rent payments, and then on the 6th month, you get to buy the house. Have any questions? Again, it's not for everybody. And a lot of people will never do one of these funded accounts. But if you do the multiple accounts, I can see how it would actually be better than having a live account, even with the tax structure. You'd have to have multiple accounts. And the other thing, there's 2 advantages. One, you have multiple accounts to make more money. You got to pay more, but you make more. in the end. And then the second thing is you're a stealth in the night. You're a ninja coming in. The market makers can't see you because these are sim accounts. Let's see, would we have made money on this one here? I don't think we would have. Nope, almost. Almost hit our 150. But we're slowing down now. You know, the 1030, you know, it sold off right there and then it went right back up. And, you know, when we get around this IB right here, that is a good area that we are going to consolidate. And it'll sometimes just kind of go like this all day. It'll go right on through there. Again, our bots all have multiple accounts up to, you can trade 21 accounts total. And if we need more, we'll add more. But you'll trade up to 21, one for your main chart, and then an additional 20 more accounts. So you can trade 21 accounts, meaning you can trade your live account and your 20 funded accounts. Or you can trade like your regular account, an RA, traditional RA, a Roth RA, 401k plan, you know, any other kind of plans you have, spouses. If you can get NinjaTrader to go ahead and make it to where it is on your username, you could trade your spouses, kids, whatever. So it doesn't have to be the funded accounts. You can trade, you know, live accounts like that. NinjaTrader will usually let you have two trading accounts. If you talked about where you're running bots and you're manually trading, they will let you do it, but you have to sign about 10 pages of paperwork promising that you will not trade like a hedge fund. Meaning, say, give you a perfect example is down here, I'm going to go ahead and put a short and a long in, and then whichever one starts making the money, I'm going to go ahead and take them. You can put like your stop here and a stop up here, and go ahead and enter short and long, and then if the long takes off, it will stop out your short, and then the long will keep on going. So they're making you not be able to do that, which I really don't understand. It's against the rules, but you know, I don't. The hedge funds do it. I don't know why we can't. Even like right here, I mean, you could put a short up here, and that short would offset your profits that you're making up here. So if you're losing $50 a point here, you're only going to be gaining 50. So you're just covering it. So it's no different than buying a strangle on an option. That's all you're doing. So that's why I recommend a funded account, and that's why I recommend the Apex account, and it's mainly because you have the multiple account situation. A funded account without a lot of accounts, to me, is not that great unless you're just doing it like the Apex account. You can make enough money on your Apex account to, you know, use it for 1 to 2 months and have your money and put it in your account and just start trading. You can do that. The earn to trade, I don't really see the advantage over this one because I don't even like the way they do it. Like on these two, I can make all the money that I need to make and hit my profit target in one day. This one, I have to trade every day the same amount every day so that I don't go over. They have a scaling system and it takes 15 days. And I just don't like it as much. Fast money right here, longevity right here. And this one you get $8,000 free up front. But you can't take I think it's like on a 100,000 account, you have to have $4,500 in there before you can take it out, or they take 50% of it, which I don't like. They've all got their little hiccup rules that I don't like, but all in all, right here's your baby. If you're looking longevity, this is one. And again, all of them have discounts down here. So click on those and see what you can do. Once you get those set up, you can come up to the Ninja Suite. We'll get you set up in there. This talks a little bit about it. There's a video up here you can watch. In real quickly, you get all the indicators on the website plus a lot more inside the Ninja Suite, and you get 4 bots now. I need to add the fire to this. We've got another one coming called Coastal. It'll be out hopefully this week. I'm working on a few issues with it. And then do live trading sometimes, do live training all the time. And then we have our Discord room. We do charts, news, callouts, training, trades, do a lot of things in there. So that would help you. If you have any questions, you can always contact me. Come up to the contact us. Fill this out if you want to talk to me. Put in your phone number and put the message in here and what time zone you're in so I know when to call. And we'll help you out. No more questions. I'm going to end this. You got any questions? Alrighty. Well, we're going to end this stream and then I will talk to you all later. Have a good day.